Professor and I are tears in my eyes.
Okay.
Tears.
His accent's not that
No,
thick.
it's not.
You're giving Jonathan Concoucrius right now.
Terror,
baby.
Terror,
Or I think it could be any number of different moments, but I don't know what it was. Trump shooting aftermath, potentially. Not that it matters, okay? The point is, okay, when you enter this field with like very obvious like political perspective, you automatically are going to have people not be charitable to you, and sometimes you're gonna say things that that don't deserve any charitability anyway. And he did say something that like went above and beyond. And when you do that, it is going to inevitably start eating away at your consciousness. I see myself as someone who always tries to balance themselves out by like hanging out with normal people, going outside, a practice that some of my haters have considered brown facing. Did you see that one?
What?
This was really funny.
What? Because you get like a tan, and that means you're doing brown face
dude,
by
look
being
at
outside.
Look at. If you want to understand the mentality of like,
I think
freaks,
Hasan has been trying to make himself browner for his audience, performing brown face through lighting or filters. Look at him before. Yo, this is the like every accusation is a confession. You saw that Shai Davidi thing? How like he said like somebody recently like referred to him as like, oh, this white professor, and then he replies, I'm not white. I'm not white. And then fucking like immediately somebody pulls my like, you know, like a few months ago he was happy to call himself white. Like this is no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Turkish people are always brown to me. I'll let you know. You'll always have your back
man.
on that.
I say I'm white. I consider myself to be white. And I think part of that is because like as a socio-political construct, like growing up in Turkey as a Turkish man, there was no like I was not a part of like an out group, you know what I mean?
Also, like America is like one of the countries where like race is like so publicly constructed along the color line. You know, like it's a pretty like it's which is why people are going insane, as evidenced by.
But this is but this is like pretty funny that this guy basically was just like, I don't know what it looks like when someone goes outside. Like only this is like an admission, you know. Anyway, it also comes with the like I was talking about it earlier, but like it also comes with this like weird. Only white people think this way. It comes with this like weird attitude that you think that, like, you know, being perceived as brown is going to give you any benefit whatsoever in the United States of America. Okay, it does not. Okay, it is the exact opposite. But you know, that's besides the point.
That I don't think I've lived up to that. I think that I can be a lot better than what I am right now, and I don't even think that I've been putting in half the effort that I should be in the way that I should be, and I'm sorry. And so my plan is to, when I get unbanned, I'll keep streaming regularly, right? And I want to focus more on trying to do things that are fun, trying to laugh more with people rather than at people. Because I'll still laugh at people every once in a while, okay? Like let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But it's about a focus, and it's about it's about a tone. I listened to my tone in the clip, and I just sound like such a piece of shit. Really, at the end of the day, I sound like a piece of shit. I sound like a terrible person, and it's just so mean-spirited and callous and just mean. And I don't want to be that person anymore. And I've spent a long time growing up. The time I did, I was an r/atheism enjoyer. I have a very negative opinion of a lot of religions. I've had the experience firsthand of the negative effects of Christianity and you know, the way that I view that. And I've always read a lot of very bad things about Islam. And I've made a lot of criticisms.
Read a lot of very bad things.
I've talked to a lot of people about it. I've heard a lot about it, and I've been like watching things about it, and I've been like hearing people telling me this is the way it is, but I've never seen it. And I actually think that after all this, I think
He's
towards the end of next year, I think
I'll
I'd
call
like to
that
visit
one. I'm happy to call that shot. This
Wait, he is.
the Middle East and see it for myself.
He's gonna.
I want to.
Bro, he's reverting, dude. Shia Islam, though. Okay, not I'm Sunni.
Yeah, no.
As a Sunni, I'm saying this. Okay,
You gotta buck the winning team, dog. Go
yeah,
Shia.
you gotta go Shia. Okay, you gotta go Shia Islam.
Yeah.
It's just like that's the way. That's
For
the
a
method.
historical perspective, right? I would love to go to Istanbul in Turkey.
Oh, he's getting a hair transplant.
Go!
Inshallah, brother.
Oh man, he's gonna be. Dude, when I went to Istanbul, I love going. Istanbul's like my favorite place. When I went there last time,
I can't go, but but hey, listen, I tell everybody if you definitely go visit.
well,
it's
no,
awesome.
I'm already visualizing it with the hair, with the little pricks to re-stimulate those follicles. Like
he's
this
doing
man,
Turkish. He's gonna go Turkish hairlines.
Oh, he's gonna go to hammam. He's gonna get the whole thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Osman Gold.
AsmonGold Lion of WoW.
No ulterior motive there at all. But
he's held his head. He is. He's doing it.
I'd love to visit places like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, any of the other places. I mean, the truth is that, and this is the worst thing about what I said. Some of the places.
Yeah, bro's gonna go to Saudi Arabia and be like, I was right, actually.
Yeah, oh, wow. Yeah,
everything I said about Islam.
He goes to Dubai and he sees like 50 million slaves imported from Southeast
slaves.
Asia.
They have slavery. What is happening? There's other places you can go to, man.
Yeah, there's go to Cairo maybe. I mean, also not such a happy place, but like lots of Muslim people who live there who are not Wahhabist.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna. Oh my God, he's gonna revert to Islam, and then he's gonna have to wash himself 5 times a day, dude. This is literally it's the perfect religion.
Is gonna go very simple. He's gonna have
It's the perfect religion for him.
It's such a good arc for him.
It's the perfect religion for him.
I think I'm with this.
Osman Alton.
Places I would want to visit, I might not be able to because of the way that they're like just the internal strife, the actual literal wars that are going on, people being literally killed there, and I might not be able to do that. But I want to do it, and I want to see it for myself.
If Michael Rappaport can make it to Israel, you can definitely go to the Middle East. Tell me.
And I think that when
Michael Rappaport can make it to Israel. He can go to the Middle East. He just can't go to certain parts of the Middle.
Go to any other country.
Yeah, like I would love to go visit the West Bank, or I would love to one day be able to go to Gaza. I just don't think that I will be able to do that anytime soon. Nor will I be able to go there and let's just say I saw what happened to another Turkish American that did go to the West Bank, and then I saw how America handled that situation after she got assassinated. Kind of puts into perspective what that looks like when so many Zionists were coming in here and be like, "Come to Israel, you will see."
I mean, it's crazy because like the best protection that you can have in like visiting the West Bank is to be like me and be Jewish, and so, like it's true. Like it is not as like easy or especially these days necessarily safe a thing. No, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about Aisha Nuda Ezgi.
When I do, I end up being a fool, and I want to see it. I want to see it for myself, and I want to experience it, and I want to live my life, and I'm going to try to clean up part of my house. I'm going to try to do this, and I'm not going to hire a cleaner. As I said, I was raised Roman Catholic. I view this as a penance. And I think I need to do this for myself. I need to take accountability for bad things that I've done.
They also have indulgences.
And for letting my life get this out of control. And I don't need to get out of jail free card.
Meaning more just
I need to do that for myself.
I mean, if I'm one of his fans
for my
who
own
watches
closure
this,
as well.
and I'm not somebody who's like bought in on all the atheism stuff, but I was there because I wanted to see him do Blackwing Lair or whatever in WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't like. Granted, I'm fundamentally very skeptical of people, changing their stripes and stuff in this way. It's a hard public thing, and the people who do it successfully are usually like, they're not initially very public about it. It's a thing that they become public about after they've done, work in a private capacity or whatever, learning or whatever.
But it doesn't even matter. Even if you do the work privately behind closed doors, and then the moment that you come out openly, people still, there's going to be plenty of people who who will never look at you the same. They will be like, no, I remember all the shit that you said. Fuck you. And there's going to be a shit ton more people in your fan base that are going to be like, fuck you. You went woke. They transed you. They made you trans. They made you gender. And, you just gotta push through it. Because I do think that genuinely, when you are honest with yourself and when you actually go through this change, okay, when you go through this change internally and you have this moral compass that you follow, you will literally be a happier person. You will be a liberated person. You will feel more free.
And that's what he's describing. To be fair, like, that is what he's describing here. To like, I think that, like, what he is saying aspirationally is the thing that, like, yeah, this was a wake up call. I should focus and do on other stuff and focus on learning and what have you, as opposed to being like a guy who, like yammers without thinking necessarily.
Yeah. Do you think he will genuinely change his mindset? Only time will tell, because the way I see it is if you are very susceptible to the way the winds blow within your fan base, and they are overwhelmingly yelling at you to go in a certain direction, there is a high likelihood that you will want to go back to the comfortable territory, the comfortable waters of, like, being admired by your fans, rather than go through the initial treacherous waters of being hated by all of those people, because no one is going to be accepting. That's the reality. When you slant yourself in this right-wing fashion, when you're cutting content in this, like, very obviously right-wing culture war, when you're feeding into this right-wing culture war narrative, and you cultivate a fan base like this, when you find yourself in an honest moment and say, oh, this is not me. I don't like where I am. I don't like where I am. I don't like the way that I present myself online. I don't like the way that my mentality is shifted. And you come out and you say, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I'm going to, I'm going to be different. Okay. I'm going to present myself in a different way. I'm going to try to learn more. Like, I fucked up. I acknowledge it. People that are supposed to be receptive to that are not going to, because they remember, one, this switch is too fast. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, people are not going to be receptive to that because they remember what you said last week or the week prior or for the months leading up to this. So it's not exactly like a warm, welcoming space.
I mean, I will say, though, as like a kind of like, there's a certain amount of aspiration in this, as opposed to like recognizing what the reality is, which is much closer to what you're describing. But I do think that, part of one of the things about the passage of time, and if somebody sticks to good behavior, and, let's say hypothetically that he absorbs a lesson from all this, then, like, it's not real. The question sort of ceases to be, or like the issue ceases to be like, oh, are people going to forgive him? Are they going to, and it'll be more instead like, will the things that he did in the past be the things that define him in the future, broadly? Like, just like when the name comes up, what is the first thing that people think of? Is it going to be guy who has gamer moments, or is it going to be guy who has like 80,000 concurrents because he cleared WoW or whatever, and it's cleared a WoW raid quickly?
Yeah. Like I said, though, it is not a. How can you let Noah, a Mets fan, on the stream? Now this is suspension worthy. Unbelievable, says Slasher.
Slasher.
He's a
Yankees fan.
I assume, yeah, he's from New York.
Well, that's
if
tough.
if he has that degree of hatred and
I'll
animosity.
see you in the World Series, pal.
Tell Noah I read the Philip Short Mao book because of the new season of Blowback and his conversation on the War Nerd.
It's a very good book.
All I'm gonna say is this, okay? He has everything to gain from continuing and not doing a course correction, like changing his trajectory, and nothing to benefit from apologizing and saying that she's like reflecting on it. He's reflecting on his past behavior. And the path ahead of him is going to be awful for the most part because of all the shit that he's done over the course of the past couple of years, all the things that he said.
That's a good point. It's not just this thing. It's like there's an accumulative effect.
So, I will always be open-minded to people who say that they are going to change, that they're going to alter the way that they view the world and develop empathy. I'll always be understanding. Only time will tell. We will not know. Okay? That's it. That's my take on it. Having said that, however, apparently he said that he was going to keep doing the woke DEI content.
That's not dehumanizing at all.
Yeah. As a Muslim, I hate this ban. I completely disagree with his points last night, but to ban him and not ban people with the exact same opinions just about the other side will just radicalize and create more hate. This is my favorite type of person online who's just like,
Have you ever considered that we treat both sides?
Yeah. Fairly? Dude apologized harder than the doctor suspect. I don't even know what he did. 20 minutes in one shot. Sounds like a legit apology video to me. There has never been a war in the history of the world that is.
Oh, I love that. No. The best part about that comment is the guy's handle. Sig P229. Yeah. Okay, gun nut.
There's never been a war in the history of the world that has not resulted in innocents being harmed. That is straight up fact.
Yeah, my YouTube handle is literally a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, gun guy. I'm sure you believe it.
Yeah.
Bro got canceled in cleaning his room. Yep. Bro, if you made a travel channel, it would be effing epic. The way you think, the way you describe things, the feelings you have is what made us become a family and love you, man. Honestly, travel, I would you know what? Not from the same perspective as this guy, but I do agree a travel stream with him would be pretty cool. I'd be interested.
I think so. I think like any interaction that he has with the outside world is funny. Like, I think in general,
he's clearly on some level conscious of that, which is part of, what he's like saying in this video or whatever is like, I recognize, like, even if it's superficial in this moment or if it's just emotional in this moment because he's responding to all the shit going on, but he's like clearly, conscious of how like, like I do live with my mom and the room is a mess and we need to fix this stuff, etc. Which I'm at, before, like, I know he like incorporated as part of like the narrative of his character on the internet or whatever. It was like part of not kayfabe, but like it was part of his shtick.
He loses his dad. His mom actually passed away.
I'm sorry.
But he was like very.
I'm going by the Reddit post that he said. Sorry, man living in his mother's house.
Yeah, no. He was very like. He was very close with his mom, and that was like very traumatic for him. Okay, so. He wrote a post 35 minutes ago, I guess, or now an hour ago. Why apologize? Because it was R-worded to use Palestinians interchangeably with religious fanatics and terrorists. Obviously, not all people in Palestine are trash. It's really not that complicated. Also, it wasn't just that issue. Don't let yourself become ideologically captured by a worldview to the point where it makes you so unreasonable that you turn into what you're fighting against. No one wins when I stand behind a statement that's a false or a mischaracterization. My fucking dad, HasanAbi head, it's true. That literally is true. Told me over a year ago I was getting too harsh on my stream and I ignored him. Same with a lot of real life friends. I think I've just been increasingly more hostile and negative, and that brings a bad vibe to the stream. A good comparison, Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero playthrough versus Wulong playthrough. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I want more Sparking Zero playthroughs, and I never want to play Wulong again. Wait, what?
I have no idea.
Wulong was amazing. What the fuck? Okay, that's the worst take I've heard from him this week, dude. What the fuck? Hey, yo. That's okay. Wulong, not Wukong. Oh.
What's Wulong?
I don't know. I thought he was talking about Asmon has tasted the politics viewer counts. He will never be the same. Yeah. I don't think he understands that he stepped foot into a very treacherous field, though.
There you go.
There it is.
There she is.
There it is. Thank you, Lil Bear. Lil Bear did it. The chronicler. a field that will not be kind to him. So, like, currently, gamers watching him do political commentary will go the distance, but I don't know if he'll want to continue it. Kinder than it is to you, lol. Yeah, but all I'm gonna say is this area, this space that I exist in is very. Oh, it's Wukong, but L instead of W to signal he disliked it. Yeah, notice how this is from when I was covering the RNC and I look much whiter there. Maybe I was doing whiteface on that day. Very treacherous one. It's significantly worse. Like, significant. No, Wulong is an actual game.
Wolong, somebody's saying.
Okay, I don't care. All right, we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. Oh, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Oh, this game. Yeah, I heard this game. Wait, was this game bad?
The game received generally favorable reviews with praise for its combat system.
Okay. Significantly worse than doing courtroom analysis on the Johnny Depp stuff,
Secret Service are going to have to answer in the coming weeks. And then the other issue obviously is,
God, I always hate when they do these plots to assassinate the president. Like George W. Bush said one reason we got to go to Iraq. Saddam tried to kill my daddy. And it's obviously bullshit. It's a very common lie that they tell.
Bro, he was saying he was negative when he played the second game and more positive while playing the first. It was a reflection of himself, not the game he was expressing.
Yeah, no, it was just not like, it just wasn't clear if you don't know what those references are.
Yeah. Well, his audience, I'm sure, understands it. The vibes and feel of the stream recently has been a lot more tense, and a lot of that is my fault. If you think that means my first stream back is going to be playing Dustborn and promoting Sweet Baby, I think you'll be very disappointed. Okay, first of all, Dustborn is a banger. We played it for as much as I physically could without losing my mind. I am so that is a signifier that he's still he's not been captured by the woke mob.
He's not going to play itch.io games on stream.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
Sweet Baby Inc. is what a lot of these gamers hate because they think that they're doing DEI to games. Been on stream for a minute, didn't post this as punishment for leaving me out of the graphic. Wow. That's fucked up. He didn't even promote that he was on here. That's crazy. Dustborn is ass. Yeah, I know. It was just funny because it was ass. I'm not changing anything other than trying to be more positive and less mean-spirited. Also, sponsor had nothing to do with. This wasn't even the top 5 worst things I've said. I wanted to. It could be in the top 5.
I think context is a lot. I think the reason people are super upset about this was that you said this the same week that we saw somebody burned to death in an IV, a 19-year-old burned to death with an IV attached. That's what it's perhaps it's not in the top 5 worst things you've ever said. I hope that it is for your sake, but that's why people are mad. Anyway, that's an aside.
I want to step away from leadership and take a break from all that for a while now, over 1 year, because the amount of commitments compounded on top of maintaining my streaming schedule was unironically ruining my life. Also, if I'm not involved with them, why would it matter what I say? Hopefully y'all can see how this really is a macro issue and not just this situation. My life has actually been fucked for a while now, and I need to fix it. I'm a 34-year-old single man living in his mother's house with dead animals and garbage. Although I don't, quote, in air quotes, hate it, I don't want to die this way.
Have any feedback or questions? Ask.
Yeah. Based, I think you should buy a new house, man. Get a change of scenery. It changes your life. S-Man literally called me last night at 3 a.m. trying to convince me to move in with him, lol. So, yeah. He said this stuff. Yeah, he's got dead animals in his house. I think he uses his rat as a. I believe he uses his rat as a alarm clock or something. That's what I've heard. I don't even know. AsmonGold is one of those people that people say shit about him, and I'm like, that's too far. I can't in good conscience believe that.
And then he be real.
And then it's no, he did do that.
I live in the house with dead animals and garbage. Could be stuffed. He's in Texas, aren't they? They do that there.
Yeah. At first, I thought he'd offered a great thesis on radicalization of young men online. Then he pulled that Reddit shit, and I'm like, never mind.
The Reddit shit being also the DEI die thing.
No, the DEI die thing, he's not going to stop that. That's his bread and butter, I think. Like, but I don't think he understands. It's kind of like when Israelis were roaming the streets, like protesting against the fucking Supreme Court decision, right? They didn't understand that like the vector of radicalization in Israeli society was that it was based on top of an apartheid regime. And if you don't address the root causes of that radicalization, you're not going to be able to like move in the positive direction. And for AsmonGold, he doesn't understand that all the DEI stuff, all the woke DEI stuff is like also a vector of radicalization for him. Bro, turn the AC on. It is cold as fuck in here.
Yeah,
okay?
no, I run hot.
Yeah, it is literally cold as shit in here. Shut the fuck up.
Also, I like my pit stains.
Yeah.
I keep them.
Anyway, the best thing you do for himself is delete his subreddit. I think like not delete his subreddit, but just like don't go to it for a while, and just don't get like don't get primed into taking certain positions. So we'll see. Have you asked your guest if he needs water? He was first of all,
I have a Diet Coke right there.
Coke,
I'm fine. Like I said, I just run hot. Police your own pits. Check your own pits, chat.
Yeah.
Besides, antiperspirant gives you pit stains. That's how you ruin shirts. Not me.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes. But I think his audience, for the most part, some will be receptive, some will not. But overall, I think like if you stay true to, and if you're genuine about changing your beliefs and changing your opinion, then, you know, only time will tell. We'll see. I think especially on this issue, he will probably change his mind. But who knows? That's what I think.
I still think we need him to do a travel stream to the Middle East. That would be incredible.
Anyway, but isn't the DEI shit a sign he really isn't that interested in changing? No, I think he categorizes it separately.
Yeah, I think it'll baby steps surely, but also I think that for a lot of those people, it's like it's been so normalized to talk about DEI as like this nefarious, like, you know, like left-wing culture eating thing, as opposed to just like, you know, like a fairly generic office style way of talking about like inclusion. Yeah. Like it's like, it's a bigger thing.
Yeah. We can't expect him to immediately jump to all struggles or one struggle. Yeah, he's not going to come back and be like, no war but class war, dude, guys.
We are going to get third worldist AsmonGold.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's coming back with a copy of Settlers.
No, he's going to come and he's going to start reading like Adam Smith in Beijing on his stream.
JD Pawn, AsmonGold. Yes, dude, permanent first world genocide. Okay. Unlimited first world genocide. If France Fanon. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, he's gonna start calling America Maoist standard English. Shia Muslim leftist AsmonGold, a man can dream. Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole lot of air between genocide and Reddit Gamergate DEI sweaty shit. Yeah,
although it should be noted that like he and Brianna Wu were on the opposite side of Gamergate, and now they're on the same side.
Maybe
of this.
That's what changed his perspective. He's like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Brianna Wu and I are on the same side, saying the same things.
That was the head check.
Yeah. Oh. No, it was because I told him that Palestinians have never made a Dustborn style game or a Concord style game.
Yeah, there's no Palestinian depression quest.
Yeah. So he should not have any beef with them. AsmonGold. I like that he admitted that the brain rot started him being an r/atheist regular. Yeah. some of the really good parts of that apology that I do read as sincere for the most part, especially considering that he has no fucking reason to cop to this shit at all. Is it once again, like, talking about r/atheism, talking about how, like, maybe he did Reddit a little too hard, and that how, like, his perception changed over the course of many years of doing this kind of thing, because you know, no one is above being primed off of propaganda, right? And I think that there's no reason to cop to it. Yeah, what do you, dude? The reason why I said there's no reason to cop to it is because look around, dude. Look around the, no one is above being primed off of propaganda, right? And I think that there's no reason to cop to it. Yeah, what do you, dude? The reason why I said there's no reason to cop to it is because look around, dude. Look around the world. That is the same reason why I was trying to tell the white people that were yelling at me when I was talking to AsmonGold and being like, why are you walking him through the steps of, like, what bigotry is, instead of just, like, calling him a fucking incel nerd who is a racist over and over again?
Yeah, why'd you talk to him? Why'd you dangle him out of a building?
Yeah, instead of doing that, well, why did I do that? It's because, one, there's plenty of people in his audience that might be more receptive to my way of thinking when I'm having a normal conversation with him. And also, beyond that, virtually every single person, if you fucking step outside of, like, this community or any other fucking community that you exist in online, kind of is on the same wavelength as AsmonGold. Okay,
well, that's a good point about,
to
like,
varying degrees,
because the community part of it is where it's like you can spend. I mean, a lot of these guys, like, sort of, and I, in general, I think like the right wing, like, pundit sphere on the internet or whatever. Like, they're convinced that their audience is real life in a certain sense. Like, there's like a, like, I don't want to paint an overbroad brush with that, but it does seem that, like, there's a degree to which, like, they start to develop senses of, like, what's normal, not just, like, what their own opinions are, whatever, but, like, what's viewed as normal by everybody else has become something, dictated by, as he said, like, oh, like it's why he emphasizes the Reddit stuff so much in explaining, like, why did I think this way or whatever. It's because he, there are all these people with this kind of media diet, and he came to think that was normal, that all that bullshit was something that is just what people believe.
Yeah. I'm an AsmonGold fan that just crossed over after seeing the debate I posted on YouTube, but wanted to get this out here as well. I've been a fan of AsmonGold for quite a while. Despite him saying some things I disagree with, he'd say a lot of things I do agree with, and I've never watched you because the entire community seems to despise you and make you out as a ridiculous, inhospitable person. Well, he said something now that I could never agree with, and coming over here to watch this debate with him just completely shattered any respect or agreements I have with him, and you've earned a sub for me. I'm not really a leftist. I'm sure there's some things you and I also don't agree on, but I will never agree with the genocide of people simply because of what they do. The patience and knowledge you displayed here really won me over and even educated me tenfold on the humanitarian and geopolitical situation. And it angered me so much that no matter how long you stayed to try and convince him to help him see the truth of the matter, for 3 fucking hours, he just refused to take in information, actually process and internalize it. I disagree. I think he probably did process it and internalize it, but that kind of stuff doesn't happen instantly, and it certainly won't happen online in front of cameras, for the record. That is the thing that you have to also understand when these conversations take place. It's not going to change anyone's opinion or attitude in real time. Okay?
That's a good point. Hollywood is, like, where that happens. Hollywood and, like, movies and television and, like,
Aaron Sorkin.
Exactly. Like, that's where that happens. That's not real life. Like, real life is you have these things and they accumulate. And then, by the way, a crisis or something that, like, shakes your understanding, a shock to the system comes. And that's what allows you to think, well, hold on, now I can have a perspective shift. Something like, clearly this has not been working, so I've got to see things in a new way. And who knows if the new way he sees things is in fact new. But, it is, like, frankly, this is often the only way that people can change their attitude about things.
I can tell you actually deeply care about these things, but I didn't get that from him at all, and just pissed me off. This is serious. People should care. Children are dying for no reason. If it were happening to us over here, you wouldn't actually care who your brother in arms was. You would support them and help them protect your children, home, and country. I truly hope he processes all these things and changes and comes to an honest conclusion, not one based on saving face or money. Congrats on the new sub, man. I look forward to more content from you. This was posted before the AsmonGold's apology. But yeah, that's that is, that is why I do what I do, I guess, and say the things I say, and just even if you don't fully understand it, even if you don't fully recognize it, like there is a method to it, you know? Yeah. Bill Maher posted on the AsmonGold subreddit, of course. Anyway.
And I think I need to do this for myself. I need to take accountability for bad things that I've done and for letting my life get this out of control. And I don't need a get out of jail free card. So I need to do that for myself and for my own closure as well. And I think also I want to live for the the idiots out there that, they're like looking to me to be a role model, right? Oh, not a good idea. But there are people that will see that and they'll think maybe to themselves, maybe I should do the same thing. And if I can do that for one person, well, I've already done it for myself. I've already done a good thing, and so it could only get better. And so that's what my plan is.
Yeah, this is also a decent take from Juniper. This is unironically a major part of how right-wingers have been able to maintain social media control for a decade now. They encourage you to be a worse person by embracing genuinely evil traits about yourself and then reward you monetarily if you do so. Never apologize to the mob. It's like, dude, apologizing is not a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing at all. Growth is a good thing. And I think that a lot of people don't recognize that. And a lot of people on the left don't recognize that either. And I am not one of those people. We'll see. Like I said, time will tell. I'm not like, I totally understand it. People aren't like immediately rushing to forgive AsmonGold for his statements or all the things that he's said in the past. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. I'm simply stating that my suspicion, at least on this issue, is that he probably will definitely have a most likely a real change of heart. Having said that, however, I'm sure that the DEI stuff will continue because I don't think a lot of people.
The DEI's die will continue until morale
think
improves.
I don't think that people understand that like that is the vector of radicalization that sparks your journey. That is the start of this kind of stuff.
It is like
because that's why I always try to say. Sorry to cut you off. That's why I always try to tell you like kill the reactionary part of your brain. Like. An example I can give you is Jank. An example I can give you is Anna Kasparian. Like when you find yourself susceptible to right-wing framing on certain issues without thinking clearly through them, there is like, it's almost like a muscle. You're training yourself into basically subscribing to certain ideals or certain ideas or certain talking points without engaging in critical thinking. And it can be one vector of radicalization. It can be one thing, right? And that slowly but surely starts changing the way that you view everything, okay? It slowly but surely starts helping you come to conclusions on every other issue. It might start with like the crime panic. It might start with you maybe having a traumatic experience with like a homeless person or something. Like with Jank, he saw like a homeless person and then he was like, that's it, I'm done, right? And then he started being like, no, we got to do something about this crime stuff. And then all of a sudden, even if you are a very progressive person, even if you've been a champion of progressive values for 15 fucking plus years, 20 years at this point, you find yourself saying things like Gavin Newsom is releasing 75,000 prisoners in the state of California when that is obviously not the fucking reality, without like examining that statement whatsoever. And then slowly but surely, it actually seeps into other things that you might have believed in the past that you no longer are believing and that you are more primed and more susceptible to right-wing framing on, whether it's like trans stuff or this or that, like, and it slowly takes over your consciousness and it slowly but surely radicalizes you.
And it makes you, I mean, like, to me, like that radicalization, a huge part of it is because what's changing is not just like, oh, my opinion on the content of this specific issue, but it's the structure of your thought. It's the idea of, it's like the cynicism and the expectation that like, oh, well, all people who are homeless and stuff, like they want to steal stuff and they're, it's consequences of choices. And if you've now accepted that premise, if you've granted that, then you'll start like thinking about that same, you'll like that same idea, like the same set of assumptions that you'll bring to that set of, that situation will be what you bring to everything from, trans people in sports, and how that's just about people wanting to, outcompete biological females or whatever, something gross like that.
Yeah.
Like it's a very,
you will always, in the intersectionality of bigotry and the intersectionality of oppression, there is always going to be something that kind of fits the bill for you. Okay. And the right very clearly and very deliberately go back to the drawing board regularly. I'll give you the issue of trans panic stuff in the United States of America, right? When they did the bathroom bill in North Carolina, everyone was like, that's weird and gross. What the fuck? And businesses were like, we're pulling out of North Carolina. Donald Trump was pro-trans at the time in 2016. He said, Caitlyn Jenner can take a shit or piss in whichever bathroom she wants to, right? Now, that seems like a lifetime ago. That was only 8 years ago. And now, if you look at the right-wing framing on this issue, it's dramatically different. So what happened in that time frame? Republican groups like, Family Values Seminar or whatever, like all these fucking right-wing Christian nationalist groups, think tanks, looked at that situation and saw that that was not a helpful way to invoke trans panic, to create this idea that like, trans people were this like nefarious force that was destroying society. So they went back to the drawing board and they tested out and focus grouped different forms of messaging. And they inevitably landed on something that was very successful. When you say trans people are pedophiles or whatever, that is not a successful method to get normal people on board. Okay, that's not a successful method to get normal people on board with your cause. When you, however, turn around and say trans people are indecently trying to destroy fairness in sports, a concept that Americans approach. A concept that Americans understand is like the only real meritocracy in the United States of America, sports, when trans people are actually, transing themselves specifically to like win competitions. It sounds silly because it actually is silly, but that is a tested focus group message that actually stuck. And that's why they kept harping on it over and over again.
It's also because it taps into existing like biases and latent homophobia. I mean, Castor Semenya and the scandal about, this woman is supposedly too male or masculine to participate in international organized athletic competition. That preceded this trans panic. That preceded this current wave of this. And it's sort of, it's kind of a, it's a sad and scary thing because it's real regression in that like, oh, here was like a previous incident, except we're now going to make the whole culture out of this set of grievances. We're going to now like, these aren't totally unfamiliar tactics either is my point. It's that, they will root around for it and find whichever window they can break into to dominate the conversation.
Yeah. So that is something that you have to understand. Okay. That is something that you have to recognize that they are, the right is always looking for new ways of getting more people on board with their messaging. They're always desperately trying to bring more people on board and try to get people to see the world from their perspective. And they are doing it strategically. When something doesn't work, they turn around and change it. People don't hate trans people as much as like Matt Walsh does. People, by and large, think trans people are weird. They don't understand it. But they also, by large majorities, consider trans people to be discriminated against. How the fuck does that make sense, right? It's because they think trans people are weird, but they don't like care enough to actually fucking go out and ban some kind of like medical procedure, right? That's it.
I'm going to try to rethink my life. I have had a lot of people reach out to me.
I'm going to show
people I would have never expected reach out to me in ways that I never expected. And I understand that, I'm still very critical about, religious fundamentalism, right? But when you paint with such a broad brush that you just include an entire group of people, you're just being you're being a piece of shit. It's like people said it was racist. I didn't mean it as racist, but if you listen to what I said, it's easy that you could assume that. So easy. And so I'm just a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking moron. I've been an asshole. I think that I've devolved for the last 2 years. I think that I've negatively affected other people too, in ways that I hate. I don't even hate to say this. Like I think I need to say this. I need to say it more. I've negatively affected people in ways that I regret. I think whenever I go back live again, I'll probably talk about that more. And like there's some just different people I kind of want to apologize to, and take accountability for things that I've said and done that have negatively affected other people in ways that were unfair and wrong. And that's what my plan is. That's about it. I want to say that I hope that now, after you've heard what I have to say, that a lot of you all can see kind of why I'm saying that I appreciate this. I really think that this is something I needed, and I hope that this is the next part of the rest of my life. And I want you guys to hold me accountable to that. So if I'm being a fucking asshole again, if I'm being mean, if I'm just being callous, acting like a psychopath, just treating people awfully outside of a WoW raid when they get killed by fire, but really laughing at people's misfortune, try to say, man, just chill the fuck out, stop it. Just stop. And I'm gonna do my best to listen. I spent 2 years ignoring it, and look where it got me. This is not even the tip of the iceberg of the problems in my life. And I want to thank everybody for making me aware that that's the case. And hopefully I can avoid the iceberg, right? And so I want to say that's pretty much about all I've got. I'm sorry for a lot of people I let down, not just with comments like this, but also just with the way I've been doing things in general. I think that you guys deserve a much better version of me than what you've been getting. And I hope that I can live up to that in the future. And I don't even want to think about it in the future, right? As soon as I get unbanned, the best apology is better content, change behavior. And that's what I hope to do. So yeah, anyway guys, I'm just going to focus on myself for a while, try to improve my own life.
Someone called you Felix.
I mean, that's just anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitism.
That's anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitism is alive and
Get
well.
me ADL. I want Jonathan Greenblatt in here right now.
Who do you think Jonathan Greenblatt hates more? Anti-Zionist Jews such as yourself, or anti-Zionist Muslims such as myself?
It's a hard question, man, because it's
like he has one bullet in the gun. Who does he kill?
The Jew.
Probably, right?
Yeah, no,
I feel like
because you hate the thing that more resembles you. That is to
I think
me,
yeah, he's definitely killing you first.
Yeah,
for sure.
no, I'm dead. I'm done. I'm cooked.
Yeah. He's gonna try to line us back to back with one another and try to hit both of us.
He'll do the thing from what's that movie Wanted where they curl the bullet.
Curve the bullet. Yeah.
Yeah, line us up.
This was a much more solid. This was a much more solid video than I expected it to be.
I agree, and I think it's because he didn't waste time trying to talk about like the particulars of anything he said, or even like what I meant to say. I mean, he said he tried to slice that religious extremism thing versus whatever about, but like it was also clear that like whatever this amount, like this volume that he got from these remarks, like I mean, yeah, he's very explicitly saying like my life is fucked. I got to fix it, and to me, it's like that's. Generally speaking, when anybody in an earnest, like if they're clearly speaking from the heart on that kind of thing, even no matter what kind of person they are, it is like somewhat moving because it's like, yeah, it's like somebody conceding that they're at some kind of a bottom. You know?
Yeah. Especially like I said, you don't have to do this, especially when you're AsmonGold. You definitely don't have to do this, especially on an issue that like. A lot of people on the right universally agree with, and maybe even some people on the left, not left, but like liberals, agree with that. Like Islam is barbaric, and yeah, they do deserve like Israel punishing them for being barbaric. So, don't worry, you got his ass. You won. That's so. That's. What do you mean I got his ass? I don't think, like, I didn't do anything. I didn't tell him to say the things that he said, and I didn't fucking like. I didn't even try to like own him when I had a conversation. Like I tried to have as charitable a conversation as possible. I think he probably also recognizes that too. There is no winning in the situation. Anyway, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Racing the chat trying crying that AsmonGold is trying to be a good person. Yeah, it is pretty funny. Yeah, there is no reason to ever change trajectory. Like people will always hug box you.
I mean, especially also like if you have like an audience his size, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, the next video when he does his DEI is die thing, I'm sure he'll come back and everybody will love him again.
But that's the classics. He can't do that. He can't. He you know, that's what I need. I need that. I need that in my veins. You dozed really well from the start, following some of chat's advices would have had you burn a bridge. Yeah, I know. I don't listen to chat, and there is no reason to listen to chat ever. Yeah, be charitable, be normal. As been growing means this community can grow. More people being knowledgeable about this is always a good thing. I agree. Oh, okay. Despite all the shit the drama baiters feed him, he always tries to stay charitable towards you and hear you out. The difference between him and some other people is that they don't listen. Yeah. My dad actually found a hair guy for Austin. He told me on the phone the other day. You keep calling it a debate, but it felt like a conversation. Yeah, it wasn't a debate. I mean, it's being packaged as that for, you know, SEO purposes, but I was wrong on Hasan giving him charitability. Proudly wrong. Yes. All right. On that note, we got a lot of news to cover. Vice President Harris is campaigning in Pennsylvania. A record number of voters are turning out early for voting, which is a good sign for Kamala Harris and the campaign. It's probably one of the only good signs that has existed. We can do all that stuff if you would like to participate. There's also, first and foremost, let's talk about my goat, my king. Shy Davide. Shy David. My shy
guy.
My king. It's not a good day today.
Did you see the New York Times did a push alert saying that he was banned from campus?
No way.
Yeah, I was out earlier and I got that. No, it was bad.
Yeah, I can't believe that the most anti-Semitic university is now Columbia officially.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Columbia.
Yeah, Columbia
is now. Well, also I gotta say, like, I watched that video of him like bumping into people like 10 times at least or whatever, and I do think that like had he left it at that, this wouldn't have happened. But it's because he's spent like he's been doing this. He's doing like. No, he isn't. Somebody said, Shy Davide is having a mental health episode. Like, can we just stop, like, encouraging it? And he's like, no, I'm not.
I cannot believe they wrote a whole article about it. Columbia bars vocal pro-Israel professor. That's a good way to describe him. That's a good way to describe the situation.
Pro-Israel. Let's go with Columbia bars.
Psychopathic professor who is a serial harasser of students on campus. Like
Columbia bars business school gadfly from campus.
He literally, dude, did you see the video of like the Palestinians, like pro-Palestinian protesters like walking past them?
Yeah, that's what I meant. The one where he's bumping people. He's like, that was something me.
Yeah, he walks up to the administration. He's like, this is like, you know, there were a lot of incompetent administrators during the Holocaust.
He reminded me, you ever see the end of Animal House?
I don't remember.
It's like basically Kevin Bacon in, you know, like an ROTC uniform screaming, all is well, while he's getting run over, you know, by people. Like it's just very no, I'm fascinated by like his continued existence. Yeah. I mean, look, now at this point though, he's like he kind of is getting something he wants. Which is, you know, sad and unfortunate because like the ban is good, you know, it's good in the sense that like it's fair treatment, or at least, I mean, no, it's not fair treatment because the pro-Palestinian people should never have been banned or whatever, like the punishments they've gotten. But like he's gonna martyr himself, and we've never seen somebody who has been this excited, who's been this excited to become a martyr, for the state of Israel. I'm not Felix, by the way. I'm seeing some people confuse me. I'm not Felix.
It's because I promoted. I think in the title I said Felix, and I said Noah too.
No. This is it's anti-Semitism.
This is anti-Semitism.
This is going noticed, and you all need to improve your behavior. While we're talking about this, it's a serious thing.
Okay, you guys need to stop saying that. Even as a joke, you got to stop saying he's Felix, or even jokingly say it, because right now I'm already getting fucking bouldered as like being a vector of anti-Semitism by my former podcast co-host. Okay, so I don't want any more additional fucking data points for people to like literally look at and be like, oh, it's real, it's happening.
No, I mean, I am curious though what the quotes are in this piece. Like, who did they get to supply like commentary or expert analysis?
Columbia Bar's vocal pro-Israel professor from campus. University says Shai Davide is repeatedly harassing and intimidated employees. He said that the university has not done enough to crack down on pro-Palestinian protests. Columbia University has temporarily barred a vocally pro-Israel professor for campus. There is like this right here. This right here is like the kindest way that you can write an article about this man, by the way.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I would it's like, I'm sure that I would love to get the audio of their attempt to like contact and get a comment from him.
Yeah. Shai Davide, an assistant professor in the business school, has been polarizing presence on campus since October 7. When Hamas led an attack on Israel
Hamas led an attack on Israel that has turned Gaza into a battlefield. Folks, Hamas has turned Gaza into a battlefield. It was Hamas that did it on October 7th by not even being in Gaza, actually, by crossing into Israel. They turned Gaza into a battlefield. There wasn't another party here that had anything to do with this.
Crack open a new zin for this one, a fresh one, a freshie. I need this.
All right, I'm gonna keep reading this. In recent days, he often makes videos of student activists and administrators and posts them online. Actions, his critics say, blow past the boundaries of civility and policy. In recent days, Professor Davide has used his X account, which has more than 100,000 followers, to accuse several student groups of supporting terrorism, posted the name and email address of a Columbia professor he suggested was okay with rape, murder, torture, and kidnapping, and falsely called Rashid Khalidi, a respected Palestinian scholar at Columbia who is retiring, a spokesperson for Hamas. That's
dude,
such a
the amount of racism and Islamophobia you can get away with by simply like positioning it as like Muslims existing or Arabs existing is like automatically.
I am a grown man.
Yeah,
and I cried. I cried.
Oh, that was the first one, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm a professor and I had tears in my eyes.
Okay.
Tears.
His accent's not that.
No,
thick.
it's not.
You're giving Jonathan Concoucrius right now.
Terror, baby. No, that's why he's allowed to teach in America. He doesn't quite sound like that.
Yeah,
but you know what? I speak Hebrew. I can get away with it.
Okay, well, but once again. Noah, let me tell you something. This is the worst day that I could have had Noah and Felix on, considering that there is like an entire podcast dedicated to like how anti-Semitic I am, apparently, from my former podcast co-host.
Well, no, consider me your shield, pal.
It doesn't work that way. They don't give a shit.
What?
People don't give a shit. Tell Jonathan Greenblatt hates you.
Damn it.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, he brought his token or something. Worst day, Kismet, but also worst day for this to happen. Shai Davide, known solely for...
this was awesome. I remember this video.
This was amazing because Times of Israel wrote an article about this where they put his quote and he said, "This is 1938." He's like, it's 1938 that I'm not allowed into the school so that I can continue fucking harassing students. excited he gets.
Exactly.
He's like, everybody, my card has been deactivated. He's like so stoked.
Hello, this is Gerald who is regulating the meeting. Where I asked them if Hamas is a terror organization, and they couldn't say that it is a terrorist organization. Why? Jay! No, speak out loud. No, I am a professor. No, everybody quiet. I am a professor here. I have every right to be everywhere on campus. You cannot place people that support Hamas on campus and me, a professor, not on campus. Let me in now.
I love that part. Let me in now.
I'm allowed to be on campus and harass the students who
Listen, I can take as many pictures of students in the library as I want.
It's so it's so wild to say this about Columbia campus once again. Like they sent in the anti-terrorism squad to like pack up a bunch of students that were